What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Inside the Five channel. It's just Griff, just me today. This isn't an episode. This is a YouTube exclusive. I'm just going to be going over 5 of my favorite games happening on Saturday, February 11th, throughout the college basketball slate. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm going to get things kicked off in the Big East, obviously. Big East fan over here. We have the 21st ranked team in the nation, UConn, going up against the 23rd ranked team in the nation in Creighton, at Creighton. And I mean, this is going to be a great game. 2 good bigs in Clington and Kalkbrenner going up against each other. And I don't really know who I love in this game. And if I had to pick anybody, I think I would pick Creighton, especially being at home. They've won 7 in a row. When they traveled to UConn earlier in the season, they had a tough loss. I think that they've grown a lot from that point on. And, I mean, they've been a very good basketball team. They've been shooting lights out like they always do. They're averaging around 80 points per game, which I know UConn is around that mark too. But looking just at games that they've won within the past week, beating a good Seton Hall team, beating a struggling Villanova team, struggling Georgetown team, but getting a big win against Xavier last week, where UConn lost to Xavier last week just a few days before. I feel like things are in plan for Creighton to get a big win. That'll be a big Sector 1 win for them. And, I mean, got to carry this one through to make the tournament. Creighton stays ranked. They're going to make the tournament with ease. They're going to get a pretty good seed. And I like them down the stretch. I think that they have a good big, a good guard, and they can shoot the hell out of the ball like they've always been able to do. I just think the home crowd is going to play a factor a lot in this game, and I think it will a lot this weekend. And I'll get into a couple of games where I think it'll be more impressive of what home crowds are going to be doing on Saturday. Moving on to the next game, I actually am sleeping on a home crowd in Virginia, number 8 team in the nation, taking on unranked Duke. I actually have this as a potential upset, and I don't know if a lot of other people are seeing this, but I would take them spread. I have Duke plus 6 right now is what I have the spread out on my book, so it's probably playable around there. I'd play it to around 4.5, maybe 3.5, but I just think that Duke is coming off the week having, blown a game to Miami, just being absolutely terrible. Before that, they got a big win against UNC. It looked like their season was starting to, turn around after beating a bad Georgia Tech team, an okay Wake Forest team, taking down UNC, which is always a big momentum shift if Duke beats UNC, or it would have been for UNC if UNC won their game. But this is really one of their last chances. This would be a big win for them in Virginia, especially on the road. I just think that Duke has the size to force Virginia down low, and I don't think that they'd be too successful going up against 2 7-footers that Duke has down low. I could see this as a low-scoring game. I could see it as a high-scoring game too, though. I just think that Duke has the scoring. They have the defensive. They have the athleticism to compete defensively against one of the best teams in the nation. And I think they're going to be very successful doing it. So looking at this game as a potential upset, you could sprinkle a little bit on Duke money line. I have Duke plus 6 right now, and that means a lot coming from a UNC fan that I'm picking Duke. I do like them to potentially win this game tomorrow. It'll be a very big win, and it's coming down to the end of the season where games like this, I mean, are make or break for seeding in the conference tournaments. They're make or break for seeding in March Madness even. If Duke can't go down and win the ACC tournament at this point, they got to rely on their resume, and this would boost their resume a lot. Moving on to the next game, big game in my opinion. I bet a lot of others would agree, a 50-50 game. You got 14 Baylor going to Fort Worth, Texas to take on number 17 seeded TCU. And these are 2 teams that have been scoring very well. They're both at around 80 points per game, but they've both been defending very well too. So, I mean, TCU has been struggling throughout the past week. They dropped both of their games this week to K-State, who's obviously a great team, and Oklahoma State, who is unranked, but they've gotten a couple of good wins. I believe Kansas State actually plays Oklahoma State on Saturday as well too. But looking at TCU's past 5, They don't look great. They're going to have their seed changed on Monday. They may be unseeded unless they can pull out a big win against the Baylor team that has looked pretty confident, and they've looked pretty good other than their loss against Texas at the beginning or last week. I like TCU. TCU was 11-2 at home. If they can hold down the amount of turnovers that they have per the game, they haven't lost a game where they have had less turnovers than the other team. So I love them on Saturday. Hopefully they'll be a home dog. I actually don't have a spread available, but yes I do. I have TCU +1, but I have them -113. So it's a weird look right now. Once the official spread drops on everybody's books tomorrow, it might be worth taking a look at. If you could sprinkle that money line if they're not favored. If not, I would take them -1. I'd probably take them -1.5, maybe -2.5 as well. I just think that TCU, in terms of it being, February, the middle of February at this point, this is a necessary win. You can't go a whole week without a win. And right now they're on pace to do that. And Baylor's coming into this game very confident. Baylor wins this game, they could sneak into the top 10. And like I said, obviously their only loss in the past 10 days has been to Texas, and that's a very good ball team right there. So TCU gets this win. It would be big for them. I like them to get this win, especially at home. I think that this is the game that I'm talking about, where I think that the home crowd is going to have a lot to say, a lot in terms of the say of the result of this game. So I love TCU in this game, but we'll move on to a game where, Missouri, who's been ranked throughout the past couple of weeks, lost their ranking last week. They've picked up a tough loss against Mississippi State. They've beaten some good teams here down the road, but they're taking on number 6 Tennessee, and a lot of people are projecting this to be a blowout. And you would think that I wouldn't be talking about it if I thought the same thing, but I think that I agree. I think that Tennessee kills this team. They're favored by 13.5 points right now, and I would think about taking that point spread. They lost a tough game to Vanderbilt. They lost a tough game last week to Florida. Tennessee needs to turn it up. The only win that they've had in their last 3 games was that horrid game against Auburn last Saturday that, everybody has seen at this point, only putting up 46 points, winning 46-43 when they're averaging around 70 to 75 points a game. It's not looking good. They're going up against a team in Missouri that scores at will. They give up a lot of points, though. I think that Tennessee could slow them down offensively, and I think that Tennessee, this is going to be a big game for Santiago Vescovi, shooting the ball, the whole team shooting the ball, honestly, but Vescovi needs to step up within the next couple of weeks, or I think Tennessee is going to be in a lot of trouble, and they have a good rank right now, and they're keeping a good rank right now. They just got to kind of coast through, but if they want to make a splash in March, it's going to have to be Vescovi. He's going to have to step up, be a true leader of this team, and he's going to have to win tough games, and he's going to have to win these games that they have to win. I think that Tennessee winning and covering the spread would be big confidence-wise for them, and I overall just think they're going to do it. The last game I want to talk about as a potential upset is Indiana. As the 18th seed, obviously, we know that last week they had a big win against Purdue. They picked up a big win again this week against Rutgers. They're going to Ann Arbor, playing against Michigan. Michigan, who's sitting at 14-10, is 3-2 in their last 5 games. Beating Ohio State was good. Beating Northwestern, who has a good record, but I don't think Northwestern is really that good. Only losing to Purdue by 5 isn't bad, and moral of the story is I have Michigan winning this game against Indiana. Right now, I got them +1. I'm hoping that changes a little bit more in my favor throughout the next day before I officially place it on Saturday. But I like Michigan in this game. I think that although Indiana gets their big win against Purdue, I think they're on a bit of a hangover off that game, which happens in college basketball. And when you have a team in Michigan who, in my opinion, with Hunter Dickinson matches up well against Trace Jackson Davis in Indiana. It's all about matchups at this point in the season. And I think that Michigan has enough to kind of halt Indiana's production on offense. And Michigan can get the ball down low a little bit better with Dickinson. Dickinson can stretch the ball or stretch the court out as well in this game. I think that this is going to be one of the better games of the weekend at 6 p.m. on ESPN, Indiana versus Michigan. So, yeah, those are my big 5 games of this weekend. In my opinion, not as good as last weekend's slate of games, obviously because of UNC Duke, it's all the rivalry games, but there's no such thing as a bad Saturday in college basketball. Let me know you guys' picks for this game. Doesn't have to be ranked opponents. I take all the mid-majors too. If you guys, like my picks, let me know. If not, let me know what you think about them. Thank you guys very much. I'll catch y'all on the episode that's dropping for the Super Bowl on Tuesday. And peace.